dark, dude.
Dark because it's raining. What happened, yo?
If we got anybody up and at 'em. Joe Mack in the house. Hello, Joe. Good morning, Larry. I didn't know if we was gonna have anybody up yet or not. We're still up, still awake. Got 5 people in the house. Good morning, Larry. How's the weather? It's just a little rainy. I put on my last video, I put on typhoon hits the Philippines or something like that. Because I asked Charina, I said, Charina, is this a typhoon? Yeah, this is a typhoon. And every news outlet that I go to says tropical cyclone, whatever the hell that is. So evidently every time there's a storm here, they call it a typhoon, whether it's actually a typhoon or not. So let me get that out of the way. I don't think this was actually a typhoon. Yeah, I was fixing to say, Anthony, about your way. I seen close to CDO on your island, Mindanao or whatever, that them rivers are just like, I mean, the streets are like rivers. Poor, I feel bad for the people. Just, and I get it. That's why every tropical storm or whatever that comes through here, the locals call it a typhoon because that's, to them that's what it is. But to me, I'm used to hurricanes, and we call, back in the West, we call them category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here they have deals like signal 1, and I asked Trina, does that mean category 1? Oh, yeah. That's what that means. Well, I don't think that's what that means. I think that's like a flood. I think that's a flood deal. Is the typhoon finished? It's dwindling out. We're still getting the rain from it, but according to the news, it's already been by through here. CDO does get flooding. Yeah, I seen the little town right beside CDO. I guess it all comes off all the mountains, and just, I mean, like I say, the streets are just like rivers, and the cars and the people. I feel bad for the people. Wife is in Saput. She prefers the typhoons over Northeast Texas tornadoes. I don't blame her. Because, like I said, I don't know. Every time there's a big storm on the map, and it looks like it's got a little eye or a little rotation. To my knowledge, that they call them typhoons. Because, like I said, they was out of school yesterday, and nothing happened yesterday, of course, till last night. They're out of school again today. But I hope y'all. I seen Steven, I think he's in Diplog, and he woke up to all his relatives showing up at his house. So,
Excuse me. If you open the door of the refrigerator, you close it, just close very hard because it's not really tight. That's
left
why
it open.
the water is.
That's why my ice is falling out.
Yeah, you need to push very hard.
Trina set me straight on how to operate the refrigerator, but then I had to set her straight about how to operate the washing machine. She's finally using the washing machine, folks. Because of the weather, we even in the spare bedroom, I tied her up some.
Yeah. Nakarot lagi ang water. the drain off.
Got a little swimming pool issue over here, so she's asking about that. I had to learn her how to operate the wash machine. We've had that thing 2 or 3 weeks now, and she's just now finally operating it. And like I said, because of the weather, I hung her up some new laundry lines in the spare bedroom, so she don't have to get outside. She's got like a carport that she's got lines under, but let's see what we got here. Explain to her about the usage of a blender. I'm not even going to go down that way. I'm not even going to. Look at her, folks. She's sitting here. She does this to me every time. She knows I'm on a diet. Brings that bread up here and peanut butter and just eats it right in front of me.
I'm not hiding.
See what I got to put up with? What's up, dum dum? Sounds like I'm calling you dum dum, but I'm really not. Laughed my ass off. Larry said, "Yeah." She told me this morning she was down there washing sheets, and you know how every cycle's got on this our washing machine it'll go through 1 through 8, and every number's like a different cycle. Well, she let it go through the first cycle, and she said, "I always got to stop it and reset it to the next one." I said, "No, just turn it on and let it go." I said, "Yeah, there'll be a pause in between the cycles. That don't mean it's broke. That don't mean it's not working. Just leave it alone. Let her fly." Good morning, Jim Schultz. How bad does typhoon hit Duma and Valencia? We just got rain, little high wind. A gringo in paradise says peanut butter tuna lady. Yeah, that's right. Remember the peanut butter and ham sandwich? But like I said, yeah, here in the Philippines, every storm's a typhoon, but I'll get on like these. I'll get on YouTube and try to find the news, try to find what's coming or whatever. But it's all in Visaya or Tagalog, and so I ask her. I said, "Does that mean it's a typhoon?" And I'll hear them say Category 1, and she's like, "Yeah." But I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think it's just actually a tropical storm. I heard on the news this morning that the winds in like CDO or whatever the name of that little town is beside CDO was 100 kilometers an hour, and I don't know what the minimum is for it to be considered a typhoon, and I don't know what a tropical cyclone is. So anyway, if I say typhoon, I think it's actually a tropical storm, but everybody here is going to call it a typhoon, so I call it a typhoon. And you ask them, why didn't the kids go to school? Typhoon. So if it's actually not a typhoon and I call it a typhoon, well, that's why. Using the blender could be dangerous to the fingers. Absolutely right. We don't. She asked me. She said the other day. She said, "We need a blender." I said, "Babe, I bought a blender." She said, "Where at?" And I bought one of them little, like a smoothie maker a long time. We've never even used it, but I said, "That's what that is. Just put it in there and blend it." Oh. Been married for 13 years and wife still can't cook American, much less Texan. Yep. But they can cook Filipino, huh? Yeah, I'll have to give it to Trina and Trina's son. He whooped up some steaks the other day that was damn good. And if it's Filipino, Trina can, she can whoop it up. And if I just tell her, I show her how I like, this done, she can do it as good as me. So, of course, sometimes I'll look and my butter be in the freezer and my Gringo in Paradise, it's supposed to really pick up in the next 2 hours. So it's not done. Are you saying it's not over, Aaron? This deal's not over? Hell, I got on here and looked and thought I needed to clarify the typhoon situation. But hell, it showed 2 different tracks, like 2 different storms. It, like one kind of veering off south of us and then one up kind of north of us. So I'm like, that's not a hurricane. So I don't know. I mean, no, it's not over. Okay, so maybe it's not over. Maybe I'm on here too quick. But folks, either way, not passing until this evening. Okay. Still raining in CDO too. That wind speed 62 mile an hour is not much of a typhoon. See, I heard 100. I heard 100 in CDO. So maybe I didn't misspeak. The people here call it a typhoon. That's why I was parroting what they said. So I need to do my homework before I because I know the people in like the United States, they're like, that's not no typhoon, and I don't blame them. But you ask them why we didn't have school yesterday or today, typhoon. Why is it raining? Typhoon. And like I say, whether it's actual typhoon or not, it's still a bunch of people are gonna. I don't know. I hope not, but the way I seen them rivers flowing down them streets and cars being swept away, it's not the wind that gets you here in the Philippines, folks. It's this rain. It's the flooding. It's all these small islands. You have nowhere to go. The rain hits these mountains and just flash floods down on everybody, and there's nowhere for them to go. Yeah, just a tropical storm. Yeah, I'm finding that out. I had a bunch of people in my last video said well, but they actually knew. They understood. They said, "Yep, you've been in the Philippines too long. Every storm is a typhoon." Supposed to get a little storm surge in Dumaguete. They've been telling me that for 3 days now, though. My buddy in San Carlos, he said that typhoon is barreling down on you, headed straight for you now. It was supposed to miss you, but now it's headed straight for you. We got 33 in the live. Y'all go ahead and hit that thumbs up, fellas. I didn't know if I got on here too late, if everybody in the United States ought to be asleep. But we figured on a nice rainy day, what better than to talk to the people here on YouTube. Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's Maybelline. I remember those commercials. Does your partner know how to use an ironing board? She uses she don't use an ironing board, but she uses an iron. Here in the Philippines, they got a iron them kids' uniforms every day.
I know how to use iron board.
Huh? You do know how to use one?
Yeah, I should buy one, but I'm very comfortable when I iron in the floor.
Yeah. She uses the floor. She's got her little setup that she uses in the floor, but hey, and that's how she does the laundry too when she's not using that fancy washing machine that the foreign guy bought. She's in there just sitting in the floor in front of her little bucket, her little deals, just hand scrubbing the shit out of them clothes.
That's clean.
That's very clean, yeah. And she's not lying. It gets a hell of a lot cleaner. Davenport says, "What's up from Texas? My Filipino friends are freaking out in Cebu." And I imagine, especially after that last storm ripped through there and all the flooding it caused. I mean, I'm really thinking that there's going to be some casualties or some. I know there's displaced folks because I already seen old Stephen in Dipolog. He had family show up this morning, and he's kind of mad about it because he don't know if they'll ever leave. He said they come there because their house floods. He said, hell, their house floods every time, so that's not really an excuse. According to the weather gods here, it's supposed to go over northern Mindanao. Not a lot of rain now, but the wind is picking up. The roads here and the rivers are, yeah. I seen that. I seen on YouTube this morning. I couldn't understand it because it's in Visayas or whatever, but it showed in just cars and stuff, totally flooded out streets, or like not just rivers, but raging rivers. I mean, really, really getting it. So I hope everybody's. No, I was just saying that 100 kilometers equals. I've got a 62 mile an hour. Okay. Yep. Hey Brent. Hey Kyle. Hi Brent. I finally caught you on the live stream again. Stay safe with this incoming weather. I sure will. Hey, glad you finally caught us. Joe says it's 9:39 p.m. in Eagle Lake, Texas. Glad you could join us, Joe. I knew I was cutting it close. I didn't know. I know we're, 14 hours off, I guess? What time is it here? It's nearly noon here. What we got here? Is anybody else here in the Philippines dealing with this? I seen a deal too that said Surgal. They was supposed to get hit, but the best the best. I don't think anybody knows where to help. Like I said, there's an American guy you can follow on YouTube. Aaron sent me a deal on his, but that's the same deal that Richard said. It's hit it straight to you. Be careful, be careful. I'm like, shit, I'm on the second floor. I'm as careful as I can be. Nope. Crypto student, hell, I'm here on the second floor. Bring it on, bring it on. They say a typhoon's coming. I'm like, I don't care. I'm already on the second floor. I'm good. Brent, you're worrying about your weight, and it's interesting to see you're doing to try to drop a few pounds. Maybe we ask how tall. I'm 6 foot even, and I'm not 5'11 and a half. As soon as I tell anybody I'm 6 foot, they say, "Oh, that really means you're 5." No, I'm 6 foot. I've always been 72 inches exactly. Everybody always says, well, people always lie and say they're 6 foot when they're really 5'11, 5'11. And I said, no, if I was 5'11, I'd tell you I'm 5'11, but 72 inches, 183 centimeters. I think they make you put on your application or on your visa extension. I think that's 183 or 186, something like that. I always put it in. I always put 6 foot, and the guy that helps at the visa place, he always draws a line through it and puts his centimeters in. So that's one good thing about Dumagetti. That guy's so helpful when you go down there. I slip him a little tip every once in a while, and he just, like I said, just always has a smile. 39 people in chat. That's a whole lot more than I figured we'd get it this late, especially you fine folks back in the West. Have y'all warmed up? I know it's been colder than a well digger's ass in the United States. Have you tried riding an ADV 350, trying to figure out if I'm too short to ride at 5'5"? No, never tried. I've never rode anything over a 160 here. Which airlines are you using to go back to America in April? I'm using Philippine Airlines, and I'm paying a whole lot more to do it. I think I wound up paying $900 one way when I could have bought a round trip ticket. You know, starting out before you pick your seats and stuff, I could have probably got a round trip ticket for $1,000, but that was going to be through either EVA or Cathay Pacific, and I'm wanting to bid on that. I'm wanting to bid on that business class deal again. So that's the only reason I did that. And they're direct flights. I'll be on 2 flights. When I leave Dumagetti, I'll fly direct to Manila, direct to Seattle. I'm going to stay the night in Seattle and then direct to Oklahoma City. So I'm not going to have to hit, 4 airports. I could actually get there quicker if I would have went EVA. It would have went, one more airport. They would have flew me to Taipei, have a lot cheaper. Or I could have went with Cathay and went to Hong Kong and then went back to Dallas. But 12 and a half hours is long enough for me. And I think it's a 15-hour on Cathay or a 13-hour flight on EVA. So I'm just going to do the 12 and a half hour flight. What's up, buddy? What's up, Rob? Y'all still dealing with the rain over the I guess y'all can still hear it. It's still coming down. And I don't know, the more it rains, the lower my neighbor's pool gets. I don't know. It was full yesterday, and now it's about a quarter. It's only about a quarter full. Trina was asking him a while ago, and he said, no, he's draining it. But I don't know if he waited to drain it because it's raining and it gets rid of the evidence because he's down in there cleaning it or whatever. Or if he's got a hole in it and is trying to patch it, because that the water level on that thing fluctuates damn much. Hello, Brent. Hello, RLT9410. Good, nice you could join us. The real still 33 degrees Celsius here in Australia. That's pretty damn warm. Gee, expensive, says Larry. Finally 50 degrees here in Houston. It got down to 18. Y'all ain't used to that in Houston. Y'all ain't used to that cold weather. Did y'all get the snow and ice too? Because y'all really ain't used to that. This global warming's a bitch. Brent, would you live there full time 12 months a year if possible? Yeah, but I don't know if you're asking me if I would live here but still go other places. If that's what you're asking, yeah. And yeah, no problem. But I don't want to stay here over 6 months and get locked into having to get an exit clearance. I understand it's no big deal. You just go down there but it's one less thing, you know. I know, and I'm always ready. About 4 months, and I'm ready to go see something new. I could go island hopping, and that would probably cure my little dude too. But if I'm in Southeast Asia, and the flights are so cheap to these other places, I want to go check out other places, and that's been that's worked so far. And I'm a guy that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's where will they fly direct to Cebu? No, I hate flying into Manila too. Yeah, I do too. But you know, that's how I flew last time. I flew LA direct to Manila, and it wasn't that bad because I got there like 5 in the morning. You know, there's not many people at all there in 5 in the morning, and I just took the little bus, transferred to my next terminal, and just waited for about 3 hours before I could jump on down here to Dumaguete. So it wasn't that big a deal. I know I hate Manila too. I love Cebu Airport. That's the reason I hate Manila, is because one, it's the worst airport in Southeast Asia. But I mean, really, Cebu Airport's just, it's a sweetheart. It's new. Manila's a bad airport. I agree with you. There's not much I can say. But they don't have direct flights to the United States. Now, you can fly to Cebu, but not direct. And that Eva Air that I was talking about, they'll fly both. They'll fly from Cebu or Manila, but you go to Taipei. So, and then, you know, it's one extra stop, but you know, and you'd actually get there faster. I think you'd probably get there in about 24, 25 hours, where it's going to take me 35 hours to get home. But as soon as I get off that brutal ass flight from Manila to the United States, I'm going straight to the hotel and going to sleep. So, and wake up and finishing the trip the next morning. So I like doing that. I used to do that when I'd go through Tokyo. Gee, expensive. Yeah, very expensive. And a lot of that has to do with the time too. That's the reason I didn't go ahead and book the round trip, is because as of right now, coming back in June, they're just, I don't know, they've lost their mind. I tried some different many ways to do it, and I just finally locked that down, direct flights. Finally 50 here in Houston. It got down to 18 a couple of weeks ago. That's crazy. 18 is brutal. Yeah. But we're kind of used to that in southwest Oklahoma, North Texas, Amarillo. That's nothing new for us. We'll get down to zero a couple times a year sometimes. Brent, would you live? Okay, I've already hit that. Supposed to get 4 inches of snow tonight, and temps are supposed to be back down in the single digits, then high of 50 Mondays and Tuesdays. Yeah, that snow ain't no big deal if it'll hit 50 and 60 in the next few days to get rid of that snow. But you know, where I'm from, it can snow 6 inches, and if it don't start melting off, it's just, people just don't know how to act. It was 60 degrees here this afternoon in Overland Park, Kansas. Well, that's damn near perfect. I like that 60. Raining now in Duma. Yeah, if y'all can't hear that raining behind me, you can't hardly see it, but I've got the, I don't know, it's a super cloudy day. It's still raining according to Aaron. It's going to be raining for a while. 70 in Tennessee by Wednesday. That's sweetheart. 70 is perfect. 60 is nearly perfect. 70 is perfect. I can totally feel the frustration Stephen is going through with his wife's family showing up unannounced and their way of screwing up his peace and tranquility. And to top it off, they asked to borrow money. Yeah, I feel for him too. That's why I've always said do that. At least one island over. At least, you know, if that's the situation and you are the main provider, you got to get away. You got to get away, and I'm sure he wishes he had, but he probably had. I don't know his real situation on if they already had that land that he built on or what. I know he didn't expect this, and that can't be. According to him, all his relatives are about to get kicked out of where they're living now. So I mean, it's not like he could have seen that coming. But yeah, that's why you always do at least one island over. That way they can't catch a ferry and just show up on you in the middle of the night. 21 degrees in Michigan. Maybe I've been to Michigan one time. Is it Camp Grayland? Camp Gruber, went to one of them army bases up there. So you got a relationship where you come, stay a few months, then leave a few months. What a deal! No, not really. I'm here full time, but I'm going back because I've got a grandbaby due, and then I'll be back here, and I'm only probably going to stay gone a month, but then I'll come back here for another probably 6 months, and then I got to go back in December for a wedding. My daughter's getting married. So I got to go give her away and be there for that. And then after that, I don't plan on going back twice a year. That's too much. That's way too much. It's too expensive. It's not. It's a chore. Anytime you go from halfway around the world, I don't care what airlines you pick or how you do it, or if you got economy or first class. It's a pain in the ass. It really is. So I don't. Last time I was back a few months because I stayed there right at a month, and then I had a major, major surgery, and they wouldn't turn me loose. Crypto student says, I appreciate it, and I'm going to look into Eva Air. Eva. I've heard good things about them, and that's what keeps popping up on mine right now is Eva and Cathay Pacific. Cathay flies out of Hong Kong. Eva flies out of Taiwan, Taipei, and they'll both. Eva is probably the shorter flight, and like I say, you'll fly to Taipei, and then on into either Cebu or Manila. So, where are you coming from, if you don't mind me asking, Crypto? Because if you're coming from the West Coast, hell. Another good one. I mean, there's actually several good ones. I've even took 2 of them budget airlines. But if you're bringing lots of luggage, avoid the cheap airlines because they're going to get their money out of you, but it's going to be through baggage. West package has some really good typhoon weather info. West Pacific WX. Thank you, Anthony. I'll check into that. Is it in English where I can understand it? Congrats on the new grandbaby on the way. Now you'll have 2 bosses full. Yeah, I can't wait. This is going to be a little boy. I've already got my little girl, so it's going to be perfect. And I can't wait to see her. I FaceTime her or we do the video message live, and she's growing like a weed, and she's talking so much now. She could talk when I left, but now, I mean, she just, you know how it is when they're growing and learning to all that. She's, woo, can y'all hear that coming down now, folks? And she's a sweetheart, and that's the hardest thing. I miss her so much. And when I was down with after my surgery, I got to stay there for, I don't know, a few months. And me and her, I got real close to her. I just put it that way. Your girlfriend there have children? Yeah, she's got 2 boys. Got 10 and 14. We were one island over, and I'm sure my wife's family swam across the ocean with the neighborhood dog on their back because there was no ferry running yet. They were at the door, and they went, that's just bad luck. Maybe you need to get 4 islands over. Spoil crypto. So I closed and bolted it just as promptly as they appeared. I don't blame you. No, I don't care where you go, but you can't stay here. I'm coming out of Arkansas, but fly to California and leave there. That's the way I've got to go. I've got to go. That's the way I got to go. They offer a flight out of Chicago too, so if that might be an option with you. But it's always best to either put instead of leaving Arkansas, just try putting either California, LAX, San Francisco. San Francisco's been cheaper here lately. I'm flying out of Seattle because they got a direct flight to Oklahoma City. It just saves me stopping at another airport. But just skip your Arkansas deal and type in O'Hare out of Chicago to Manila, and don't even put your final destination if you're going to wherever you're going. Just worry about getting to the Philippines and either do it from O'Hare, Dallas, or California, your San Fran, LA, San Francisco, and that could cheapen it up a whole bunch, and then just buy a separate ticket from Arkansas to wherever you're flying out of. Because if you got more than 3 stops, a lot of times it won't find you the best deal. It'll actually start trying to screw you. So something to think about. Yeah, it's in English. Okay, sweet. The weather deal. Brent, buddy, is there any way I can get a hold of you outside this old platform? That's Rob. Yeah, I've got a Facebook, Brent's Trippin. Just follow me on there. Send me a message on there, and I'll accept it through there. I don't like giving out my regular Facebook, and I don't think it would hurt. Are you here in the Philippines? If you're here in the Philippines, I'll just give you my Filipino phone number. I don't have no problem with that. But I don't want to give out my personal Facebook just because, there's too many weirdos out there that, I'm not saying you, but I'm saying somebody would see it on here and either trolls or that kind of stuff. So I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. Come on, Brent, you got lots of money. Get a private jet and fly from straight to Oklahoma. No big deal. No, that's where you got me messed up. I don't have lots of money. I'm a tight ass. I peach them pennies, folks. I got a wedding I gotta pay for. I got a trip I gotta get back for that grandbaby, and then this Filipino wants me to take her to Thailand before I go back. So understood. Thanks. Yeah. Just like I say, hit me up on there, Rob. If you're not in the Philippines, just hit me up on Brent's Trippin. And I'd give you my email. I don't worry about anybody having it because I got so much spam going through my email, but I never check it. And you'd be mad. You'd be like, I sent him an email and he didn't answer me back. And it's not that. It's I don't check my email because I've got 10,000 messages in there and 90% of it's shit I've never even heard of. So I don't go through there looking. The only time I use my emails if I book a flight and I look specifically for my airlines, because I probably get 500 a day. I can't stand technology. Been on here 35 minutes. And the rain's coming, folks. It's coming. And like I said, it's not the wind that gets you here in the Philippines. It's the rain. It's the mudslides. It's never the wind. When we came back home on Tuesday, we tried a new airport in Boston with Korean Air. Great deal, but longest flight to Incheon. I've thought about taking Korean Air, and I've heard good things about them because that used to be the main one that popped up. I guess they take turns at who's going to be cheaper this month, and I guess because, like I say, Korean Air used to always pop up on mine when I type in my stuff, but now here lately it's been Cathay Pacific and Eva Air, and I think. Well, I better shut up. I'd be lying to you. I was going to say I thought Eva might be Korean, but I know they fly out of Taipei instead of Incheon. But lots of people use that Incheon route. Lots of people. And I've heard, like I say, good things about it. And that's the crazy thing too. I was looking at mine, and you'd think flying from Boston. I mean, I can't say Boston because I've never looked that up. But flying from say O'Hare, Chicago, would be a lot further than flying to Seattle or San Francisco, but it's not. It's like the same amount. I don't understand it. Sometimes I pinch Penny so hard that Lincoln's complexion about bruises on his butt. Yeah, yep. That's why they quit making them pennies, because we kept pinching him so hard. I love the rain vibes in the Philippines. It's dang calming for soul, and the best have tasty hearty soups like bulalo beef. I'm telling you what, folks, I slept like a baby last night, and I struggle sleeping over here. So a lot of times I'm up half the night, and that's where I do most of my binge eating, is just being up by myself bored. But I slept like a baby last night. I did get up and do some ate me a couple pieces of ham and ham and cheese before I did. Something about getting your belly full and then climbing in that park pack. Yeah, I didn't roll out for 10 o'clock. I always fly Air Emirates. I've never flew them. I heard that's a fancy. Where do they fly out of, Rob? I've never flown them. I've heard, like I say, good things about them. I'm gonna tell you all the truth. I keep saying, I hear that's a good one. I hear that's a good. The worst flight that I've had over here, even with two cheap airlines, which was Zip Air and Starlux, which were pretty new companies when I took them. Had outstanding flights with both of them. The worst flight I've ever had over here was taking American Airlines. And so this time I was looking at round trip tickets, and I found one that was pretty affordable, but it was American Airlines on the way back. So I said, no, I'm not doing that. And another reason I didn't book a round trip ticket this time is because I was gonna have like a 14-hour wait in Seattle. I was gonna go Oklahoma City to Seattle to Manila, just like I'm going this route, except the reverse. Except I get to Seattle in the morning, and so you can't go get a hotel. You just be stuck in the damn airport for 14 hours. See, on the way to the United States, I'll get there at 8 o'clock at night, and I can go rent a hotel and sleep. Get a good night's sleep that night. So that's the reason I didn't book that way. There's no way I want to be sitting in an airport for 14 hours. Yeah. You say, well, why don't get you a hotel? Well, that's because you can't check in till after 2, and by 10 o'clock or 7 o'clock, if it's a 10 o'clock flight, you know, you got to be there 3 hours early or need to be. It's a good idea. I fly United. It's always cheap. Cost me $900 and until $1,100 round trip from Wichita, Kansas to Manila. Yeah. Yep. And Eva, that's probably around the price that Eva will be. I've never flew United, so I may need to look into that. But never. Where do they fly out of? Because I'd be all over that if I could fly direct, but I know you can't. Where's United's hub? I mean, do they fly you through Tokyo, South Korea, Taiwan? Where do they go? Is that if they flew direct to Manila, I've already known about that. Singapore Air was great, but not always available. Yeah, premium economy was unbelievable. I imagine. I'm sure you paid for it, but that's the deal. I take Philippines Air because you can bid on premium economy or business class. So that's what I've already put in my bid. So if I win it, it's going to be an expensive ticket. But if not, they've got a deal too where you can bid on the seat next to you or the 2 seats next to you, so you can have the whole row. Don't mean you're going to get it, but you can bid on it. And I've heard with like Eva Air that they don't offer the bidding deal, but when you check in, you might can pay extra to get some unsold seats. And that's pretty much the way the Philippines is. You bid on it if they're available. So I catch it out of Toronto, Ontario, buddy. Okay. But where does it fly? Does it fly straight to Manila? Oh, Emirates. Where do they fly? Straight to Manila? Rob says, I've got a damn arrow right where I need to be reading. That flight is long ass flight. The long one is actually Dallas to Hong Kong, and that's what Cathay Pacific offers. I think that's a 15-hour flight, 14 and 50 minutes or something like that. Okay, San Francisco to Manila. That's what Philippines Air offers that too. San Fran to Manila, Seattle to Manila, Manila to Vancouver. Actually, I was supposed to fly Vancouver to Manila last time, but there was a delay, so they shot me from Dallas to LAX instead of making me go to Dallas. And actually, my flight was delayed, so I actually got there before I would have went there with my original ticket, just because the people at Dallas said, hey, we can shoot you to LA and get you. I said, I don't care, but I won the bid for this business class. Do I still get that? He said, let me look. And he looked on there. So yeah, no problem. Actually, Singapore Air was cheaper than some economy prices. Almost. Okay, really? But I've heard great things about Singapore Airlines. So I just figured it'd be expensive. Got 39 people on here. Folks, we had 50 at one time. I guess everybody's dwindling down, maybe going to bed. Has anybody got any questions for me? If not, we'll shut this deal down. I just want to let everybody know we're doing good here in the chaotic Philippines right now with all this water coming through, and Filipinas over here doing the kids' homework, and then gets mad at the kids when they don't do good in school. Our Korean air flight was 15 hours and then 3.5 hours to Cebu. Yeah, see, I screwed up the very first time I flew. I flew San Fran to Tokyo. So that's the shortest flight you can take. And of course, I was going to spend a few days in Tokyo just to break it up. And I'd never been to Japan. And so that spoilt me. So the next 2 or 3 times I flew over here, I always flew through Japan. And then I just got to, well, I'd seen Tokyo 2 or 3 times. I'm like, okay, I just want to get there this time. And then the next time they took me through Taiwan, Taipei. it was a bitch getting here. It was, you know, it was like 24 hours of just solid airplanes and layovers. But I got here within 24, 27 hours, something like that. And so then I cheated. Then I discovered that business class, and I'm like, shit. As long as I can lay down, I don't care how long it takes. Actually, that trip from LAX to Manila was 12 or 13 hours, and I was like, shit. I don't care if we're there or not. Usually, I'm watching that damn plane on the map. I was actually like, shit, we're there already. I flew Singapore Airlines. Just hated having to fly to Singapore and back, but it's okay because I could fly into Cebu. Yeah, because it's no different than flying to Japan. You know, what is it, a 4-hour flight to Cebu or a 4-hour flight from Singapore? I know that's what it is to Malaysia and Indonesia, so it's got to be about the same. Yeah, it's a 14-hour flight from San Francisco to the Philippines. It depends on what day in the jet stream, I guess, because I think my last one said 12 and a half. Now, if you go the other way, like this time, it's going to be 13 and a half. When you fly into the U.S., I'm flying into May. I'll be flying Dumaguete to Manila, Manila to Seattle, staying the night, and flying straight to Oklahoma City. Yes, directly. Okay. How much does your apartment cost per month? Here's $200. 12,000 pesos. Singapore flight was long flight to Singapore, but being able to fly on to Cebu was the upside. Yeah. And that's kind of on the opposite side, but the same amount of time as the Tokyo would be. So, and that's what I did, except, like I say, I broke it up. One time I just landed in Narita Airport, which is an hour outside of Tokyo, and I just got a room there at Narita. Went in there, had a good night's sleep, got up, flew out the next day about noon. So I was fresh, and you feel a whole lot better about a 4-hour flight after coming off a 14-hour flight is, you know, you don't look forward to that. I know I flew into Taiwan, Taipei, and it was like, shit, I just got done with that 13, 14, however long it takes you to get from San Francisco to Taipei, then had about a 3-hour layover in Taipei, and it's only like a 2-hour flight from Cebu to Taipei, but it was still like, damn, I got to get on another one of these. I want to go to bed. You must have good internet being your still connection. Who do you use? Who do we use? Converge?
Converge.
Yeah, we've never had any problems with the and I actually tried to get it upgraded. We went down.
You complaining about our Wi-Fi, but right now it's good.
Yeah,
right?
it's good. It's good right now.
But it's still depends.
But of course, the kids ain't on it either, doing their games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always been pretty good. Now when CJ got him a new laptop, and so they was hitting the online gaming or however you do it, so it kind of slowed me down a little bit. So we went down and was going to get the biggest package that they offered, and we actually told them that we wanted it, and they just never came and did it. So we're still paying the whatever was. What are we paying? 1.8 or
The Wi-Fi?
yeah.
1,900.
1.9, something like that. So we was looking at, or I was looking at Starlink too, because Starlink. I was looking at that because when I go back to the United States, I didn't know if I wanted to go to my house and have the electricity turned back on and that kind of stuff. And the only reason I didn't want to go to my house and do that is because then I would have to get Wi-Fi, and I didn't want to be under a Wi-Fi contract to just be there a month and then have to pay that crap while I'm over here. So it was either going to be that, or I told my son to look for me a camper, like a camper deal. That way I could just go traveling around when I'm not staying at the house. And he said, yeah, you can park that thing. I've got a big shop you can park it at. You just park it here. Because now with the second baby coming, the baby gets my room that I stayed at before. 16 hours and 57 minutes. Yeah, that's too long for me. That's too long, especially when I could do a 10-hour to Tokyo. But it really, after doing it every way, there's just no good way of doing it, folks. There really ain't. You can either do this 17-hour flight like Rob's talking about, or you can break it up and be in 3 different airports for, even longer than that. So I mean, you're going to be miserable for 24 hours, no matter which way you do it. Have a good one, old buddy. Chat later. Congrats on that grand. But hey, appreciate it, Rob. Glad you could stop in. You be good and stay safe out there. We paid $3,000 and are worse than dial-up. Really? See, I've never had issues, and I've never had an issue with the live. And sometimes if uploading a video, one of these videos, that's what takes so much damn internet is uploading videos, and I get mad if it takes over 15 minutes because I'm like, damn, I want it on there now. And sometimes it'll be instant. And then sometimes it'll make me wait, and I'm like, no, this ain't working. No, this time, you buy round it, or do you just buy your ticket there? I'm just going to buy one way, and that's the way I've done it the last few times. Just because I couldn't. A lot of times you'll save a lot of money if you'll buy the round trip, but this time it just wouldn't giving me that savings, because I looked up one deal. Now it would if I would have used not really, because I could book a flight through EVA or Cathay Pacific one way for say $550 before I upgrade my seats and all that stuff. And so a round trip ticket was going to cost me $1,000. So really that, and I really don't know how long I'm going to stay with, I don't know how much hay my son's going to have to bail this time with the new grandbaby getting there. He may be going balls to the wall. If it rains, there'll be lots of hay to cut, or he might have to help his wife with the baby. I don't know. So I just bought it one way. I looked at both, but I paid more because I wanted to be able to bid on these tickets, is what it amounts to. And this is not the best way to do it. And when I fly back, I may not go this route. What if you halfway to somewhere and hang out at the city for a day or two? That's what I did in Japan, but there is no halfway. There is no halfway between the United States and the Philippines unless you stop at Hawaii. And I even looked at that. I thought, hell, I'll do the Hawaii dip. But it's like, then you got 2 9-hour flights, which to me is worse than 1 12 and a 2 or a 3. You know what I mean? But the what you're talking, user X9, the Tokyo deal was the closest thing I could find to that, because the closest thing from California is actually Tokyo. Unless, like I say, you do Hawaii, then they'll want to, I don't know, just their routes are so jacked up that they want to take you through Guam you'd think, well, it's halfway, so it should be a 6 and a 6 instead of a 9 and a 9. So it just, howdy, Oliver Russ, how you doing, buddy? Glad you could join us. What about the opposite direction, like somewhere in Europe? Now, I've looked at that too. I've looked at that too just because I wanted to say I flew all the way around the world. But they always want to take you the other way. If not, they want to land you in some Middle East country, and it'll still take even longer. And I'm not doing that. Now, if I started out, because I've always wanted to go to Ireland or someplace like that, and yeah, that's what I was looking at. I'd just spend a few days in Ireland or Spain or Germany or someplace like that, but it's even longer that way. I noticed sometimes it's cheaper to fly to the Philippines than back to the U.S. U.S. is always, yeah. I've seen that too, and I think a lot of the time it has to do with what time of year you're going. 'Cause I'm sure just like anywhere else, they got busy seasons and not so busy seasons. So. But like I said, there's just no way. There's no good way of doing it. You just got to buckle down. And I can tell you that this is my favorite. And then the next time I go, I'll go a different way because whenever I'm booking the ticket, I'm just like, I don't feel like doing that. And then I like the Tokyo deal. The last time I did the Tokyo deal, I can't remember if I stayed there 2 days or if that's the day that I actually just stayed at Narita. I've been to Tokyo several times. One day I stayed 3 days, one day I stayed 2 days, and one day I just stayed at the hotel by the airport. What are you going to do in order to show a return ticket? Do you buy the round trip then just keep adjusting the date? No. I just buy a one-way ticket. When you're going home, it don't matter because you live there. You know, that's your country. You don't need a return ticket. But when I come here, I just buy a throwaway ticket, which costs $16. And what it is a fake ticket. It just shows the immigration people or the people at the airlines that you do have a ticket bought, but it's pretty much a fake ticket. Everybody says it's a real ticket, blah blah blah, but you're not able to use it. So you just get on either throwawayticket.com or onwardticket.com. You pay $16. They send you an email like it's a legit ticket. You show that to the people to get on the airplane, and you show that to the people at immigration or when you're coming through the gate. They'll ask you, when you show them your ticket and say, "Yep, see, I've got a way out." And like I say, that way, if you don't know your dates, even if you do, that never has made any sense to me because everybody comes over here and extends. So thank God for onwardticket.com or throwawayticket.com. Yeah, last time I went to the Philippines, I flew into Tokyo and made the mistake. I flew into one airport, and you always want to be careful because I've seen a couple of times they've tried to do that to me, which wouldn't be bad. It really wouldn't, Richard, as long as you're going to stay in Tokyo for 2 or 3 days. But if it's just one of them deals that you got to change airports just to fly out a few, hell no. Like, it starts with an H. I forget the name of it. Hyundai or something like that. And the other one's Narita. $20 from Cali 087MJ. Woo! You woke the Filipina up with that $20. Take your beautiful wife to lunch. We will do it. We will do it. Thank you, Cali OH.
Thank you, Cali.
Yeah, but be careful. Yeah, I don't have to tell you anymore, Richard. You know to be careful with that. I'm gonna write that down before I forget it.
Thank you for $20.
Yes. Cali 08's another $20. You're on this list already. We sure appreciate you, Kelly. Be sure to shout y'all out. If it wasn't for y'all, wouldn't be able to do all this fun stuff. Do they still have a retirement visa? Yeah, they got one. And they got all kinds of different ones, so just look into it. I don't know if you've been in the military, they offer one, give you a hell of a break on that deal. Depending on how old you are and all this, so look into whichever one fits you best. I mean to the Philippines. Crypto. Oh, okay. I was an idiot and bought a round trip, and I lost that return on. Yeah, don't do that. Just do the one way, and then for $16 you can buy. Just go to the website, and it's simple. And you can even do it in the airport. One time I was at Narita Airport, and then there was an American about 6 people ahead of me. Me and him was waiting to check in, and we got to talking, and I didn't have an onward ticket yet. So I told him, I said, hey, when you get to the gate to try to check in, or get to the counter, if they ask you for an onward ticket, holler at me, and I'll buy one. And he got to the counter, and he turned around and said, yep, they're asking. So I got on there, boom. And it's nearly instant, 30 seconds later, I had me a $16 ticket. And when I went to the counter, I had what they wanted. Because I got stuck one time too like that. When I was leaving when I was leaving Vietnam, I was coming back to the Philippines, and I'd been in the Philippines prior to that. So I was like, yeah, hell, I live in the Philippines. Why do I need an onward ticket? But it just didn't click with me that, hey, you're doing it again. You're flying back into the Philippines. You need one. So I screwed up and panicked at the time. I was new to flying around, jumping places. So I got on Skyscanner and just bought the cheapest ticket, which was to Malaysia. And I thought, well, hell, if I have to, I'd give $70 for the ticket. And I thought, well, hell, that'll give me a reason to go to Malaysia. And then I wound up not even using it. So from then on, I've always had onward ticket on speed dial, if you will. Howdy, Farrell. How you doing? Farrell in the Philippines. Okay, I was in the okay. $20 cha-ching, says Brian. Yeah. Thank Mr. Cali 087MJ. Where you at in the Philippines? Rick says, I'm in Dumaguete. Negros Oriental. Yes, sir. Farrell. Appreciate that. Farrell. Rick, thanks. No, not a problem. We've been on here 1 hour. We got 40 on us. Y'all want to keep going, or we want to sign off? Folks, in that rain still ain't slowed down. It's just a steady kind of light rain. So I'm pretty sure that it's probably rolling off these mountains. And I know it is in Mindanao, because I seen the streets are like rivers. So pray for them people, really, because it could be a nightmare. I've seen it too many times that the casualties will probably. I hope not, but. Your fiance lives in Bacolod? We just got back. When did we go to Bacolod? A couple months ago?
4 months ago, yeah.
Yep, that's on the other side of the island, but and it's probably 3 times as big as Dumaguete. I think there's 650,000 people in Bacolod, and I never did know that there was that many people there. I've been there probably 3 times. I never really realized it, but I guess Bacolod's you always hear about people coming to Dumaguete. But then Bacolod got hot there for a little bit, so people started going up there. Farrell in the Philippines says, I'll be there in less than 2 months. Good. Can't wait for you to get here. Safe travels, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I guess I skipped you, Farrell. Are you building a lifeboat yet? Nope, I'm on the 2nd floor. I'll get me a floating device if it gets up this high. I don't know, right next to me on both sides, as you can see. Let me see. As you can see, I got a church on one side of me, and a apartment / hotel on the other side. And one of them's 4 stories, and the other one's 3. No, that may just. Is that just 2-story or 3? It looks tall enough to be 3. So I think as long as I can grab a hold of something, I'll be all right. Because like I say, I don't think it'll get 4 stories thick. Boom! $10 Oliver Rust. Appreciate you, Oliver. Woo!
Oliver, shut up. Thank you.
You caught that Filipina's attention.
Thank you, Oliver. Tell me if you want to go shower.
Appreciate it, Oliver. We really do. We got a spot for that. We'll spend that in Thailand. I hope no line. Yeah, keeping those folks and you guys in our prayers. I appreciate that, Sir Tango. Yeah, not so much me. But them people up on the mountains and close to the slum areas, you know, close to these rivers, that's where they usually all gather, and that's usually the places that get hit the hardest. Is that water comes rolling off these mountains, and just it takes them. And I wouldn't say take them by surprise, but I mean, where else are they going? Boom! Crypto student with $20 in the house.
Who's that?
Crypto student.
Cryptos, thank you so much. How much you said?
The Filipina can't hardly talk. She's got her old voice box sounding scraggly.
Thank you so much, Crypto.
But she says thank you, Crypto. Yo, I've got.
We might be full tonight, Crypto.
Yeah, I got the best. Nobody's got bigger supporters than what we've got, baby.
Yay! God bless you all.
I've been to Backlot 3 times, but we normally go to Sipalai and stay on Sugar Beach when I visit. I hadn't been there, Rick, but my buddy in San Carlos said that he goes there all the time, and then boom, we got $5 from Schoolo Fenris.
Yay! Shout
No wonder I
out,
keep
Schoolo.
missing your lives. It's
Thank
almost
you so
midnight
much,
here. Oh, I'm
Schoolo.
sorry. Are you on the? Where you at, Skull? I think it's getting late here too. It's probably. No, I usually try to do them an hour or two before this. It's noon here, so yeah. We kind of got a late start, but we didn't have nothing else going on.
Thank you, thank you.
Let me write that down. School of Fitness.
God bless you.
Y'all have to forgive the Filipino. She can't hardly talk right now. Her old voice box. Old voice box is getting to her. Mama voice ain't doing so good, says Brian. Now, you should have heard her yesterday, or you probably did. Yeah, but like I said, he loves that Sipalai, and we'll have to go check that out the next time we're up that way. You saved me hundreds of dollars on that dummy ticket, and I really appreciate it. Hey, I'm glad I could help, Crypto. Just like I say, Onward Ticket or forwardticket.com, and it's the best thing. I don't know who invented that, but it's a lifesaver, total lifesaver. I love this. It's great. People have your back, Brent. Yeah, I'm telling you, Brian. I've got the best subs of anybody. Hit the like button, Feral in the Philippines. Absolutely, we got 31 likes, people. I appreciate each and everybody. It took me a long time to understand why anybody would listen to old redneck like me talk, especially on a live. So I just never did lives, and then I thought, well, let me give it a try. I was afraid that I wouldn't skull a little Fenris here on the East Coast. Okay, yeah, my apologies. I'll start trying to do them a little earlier so we don't keep you up so late at night. But we was bored because we're, like I say, in the middle of a tropical storm. Rain, as we would probably call it in the United States. But yeah, after initially trying the live, I like it. I like for a long time, I would see y'all's names in the comments, but being able to chat with you, it's so much better. And y'all watch me, and you kind of get to know me and what I'm kind of about. But I don't really didn't get to know y'all, so I enjoy it. I really do. And like I say, we was bored this morning, and I thought, oh hell, I'm gonna get on live. She told me yesterday. She said, let's do a live. I said, babe, it's already noon. I said, everybody's in bed. But we actually started this one an hour ago, so we was borderline a little late. All right, folks, do y'all have any, if y'all got more questions, we'll keep going, or we can end this and go Pokes. Yeah, I got my old Pokes hat on today. Dan Martin says go Pokes. I'm gonna put y'all together a little video of. We went to Mango Ranch yesterday. I had an awesome steak dinner, folks. I started to put it on the end of the one last night, but the video was getting too long. So we'll try to get that edited, try to get y'all a video out for tonight, and I'll let y'all get to bed, go to sleep. I know I do. I appreciate you taking time out, especially at midnight. Especially at midnight, Skull of Fenris. Like I said, I'll try to get that. I'll try to start them a little earlier. Anyway, folks, I think we're gonna shut her down. I appreciate all y'all for supporting us. I thank all y'all for watching these videos and keeping track of me and the Filipina. And we'll put this to use. We'll go when it dries out. We'll get us something to eat. Brian says, "Take care, folks." All right, y'all. We're gonna sign out. Rice Tucker, I'm retiring there in 2 years. Good. I hope you love it. Gun Ha Ha says peace. Great live as always. Stay safe and enjoy yourself. Absolutely. Sir Tango, thank you, Brent. Thank all y'all. And if anything pops up, if anything goes down, I'll keep y'all posted. Like I say, I just truly, we appreciate you. Until next time.
Peace.
she can't talk, folks. Y'all take care. Peace. Later, Skull of Fenris.
God bless
Enjoy the
you
Brent.
all.
Take care, John. Y'all be good. Hey, Brent. Nice to see you. Hey, Dave. I hope you got your lady from Bangkok down to join you. We're signing out, but y'all be good. We'll catch you in the next one.